Mr. Ricky Glaser.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice hat.
Thank you. I also go by Captain
Jackson.
That's right. Now, you're from where?
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Commonly mistaken as Melbourne.
Do you think that even matters, that whole, you got to say Melbourne?
Not really.
Yeah.
I think it's Matt, what's his name? Matt Damon's fault, because he's like the Bourne identity, and it's spelled Melbourne style.
We're pinning it all on
I think so.
On that guy?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Being from Australia, you must have seen some crazy animals in your time.
What do you think is the craziest animal?
Well, I heard you saw a crocodile.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing people don't know. They say, oh, the spiders. I think the spiders are the least dangerous. But what is dangerous is snakes. People definitely do die from snakes. And then crocodiles. The thing with crocodile and shark, people think they're kind of the same. But a shark, it will bite you and be like, oh, whoops, like, sorry, I didn't really want to bite you. Crocodile is like, I'm going to eat you. Like, yeah, sick, I'm going to eat you.
Crocodiles are more intentional.
Crocodile is like trying to get protein from you. And the shark is like, oh, whoops, I thought you were a seal, sorry.
Under what circumstances did you see one?
I took like a cruise and like they like find them, you know?
Saltwater croc?
Yeah.
Man.
In cans.
That's insane. Yeah, I've never seen one of them. I wanted to talk to you about our mutual friend.
Who?
Mr. William Spencer.
Dude, the king.
Isn't he the greatest guy?
Goat.
He's actually the greatest guy.
William Spencer and you, honestly, were like really big influence in my skating.
Little old me?
Yeah.
Wow.
So for the people, if they don't know William Spencer, definitely go on YouTube and look up William Spencer video part. In particularly, my favorite one, I think, is called Colorado, the Denver shop video, where he was doing the kind of like parkour-y mix with skating before parkour even existed. He was doing like front flip onto the board, or like jump on the thing, back flip off, or like jump onto the fence and hold onto the fence and then do a trick off. And like no one else was doing anything like that. And to me, it was like really inspiring to just be like, whoa, like you don't only have to tray flip a 10, like you can actually do crazy stuff, and it is awesome.
In my mind, the man is beyond goated. He's done things for me that are beyond comprehension. He really helped me out of a tough spot. And not just his skateboarding being inspiring, like as a person, I think he's the kindest man I've ever met.
Yeah.
He helps out people more than anybody knows. And I would really love to see him celebrated to the degree that he deserves, you know?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think he has a new video part coming out. He was like showing me a little bit. I don't know, it's maybe out, maybe not yet, but it's coming soon, I think.
Yeah.
And like, I'm really hyped for that. He showed me one trick that I was like, what the hell?
Which one was it? I bet I've seen it.
Secret, top secret.
Top secret, yeah. It's coming out, it's out now-ish? Yeah. William Spencer. Do not forget about William.
What I want to say about your early video parts, Richie?
I would love to hear it.
You were the first person that I ever seen had a movable pole jam. Because now you can buy a movable pole jam from whatever skate ledge companies and stuff. But I seen you have a movable pole jam, and you did pole jam down. I think you did pole jam grab downstairs and maybe pole jam to board slide. I was like, whoa, like I didn't know that you could even move a pole jam.
You know what? I'm going to take that compliment. I was the first to come up with the portable pole jam. And skateboarding has never been the same since. Some say it's been a lot worse.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about social media.
Yes.
Obviously, you are Braille Skateboards guy. And what I really liked was when you kind of spoke some harsh truths about Thrasher and how they are somewhat exploitative.
Yeah.
And at the same time as they think they're running the game on YouTube, they were also kind of talking trash on you.
Well, okay, I'll give him a little bit of context. Thrasher, in one of the more recent mags, had like an article, and it was like, how to start a YouTube channel. And then it was kind of like very satirical, very like painting starting YouTube channel in a negative light. Like, skate YouTube channel is not good at all. Like, it's terrible, it's cringe, like, do not do it. That was like the tone of the article. And then like I read it, and like, it's not like I take offense to it, but I just think about this objectively and be like, Thrasher is like one of the biggest skate YouTube channels. Like, why are you trying to admit out into the universe that like someone trying to start a skate YouTube channel is so terrible and so awful, and like, do not ever do it?
Well,
like,
I can tell you exactly why.
It doesn't make sense.
Market share, my guy.
But it seems crazy that they would do that, because like, wouldn't you want skaters to get non-skaters to watch them, and they can make money, and like skating economy can flourish? Like, isn't that a net positive for everyone? Like, just seems very strange that they would really want to like just like be so like mean about it, I guess.
Well, we should name names. I bet it's one person in particular that has a bone to pick. That's like, oh, what are we gonna do? We gotta shut down all the YouTubers. Like, it must have been.
Well,
do
I
you know
feel
have a
like
name of the author?
I don't know. I didn't even think it really matters there. I just thought it was like, I just wanted to bring, I didn't, like, I love Thrasher, you know?
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring attention to be like, hey, you said something kind of I don't agree with, and I want to express, like, let's talk about it, you know? Like, I think that's kind of messed up. Like, let's have a discussion.
I've had the same thing happen to me. It's weird when companies that you drew in the back of your school book decide that they don't like you, and then you're like, I like Spitfire doesn't like me. I drew the Spitfire guy every day, and to have that emblem be opposed to me in some way, it hurts personally.
Yeah. I used to always write skate or die
yeah,
on all my school books and stuff.
skate or die. What, did you write it with the
Apparently Phelps made that up. Phelps was the...
You're kidding.
Yeah, that's what the legend I've heard.
Wow. I wonder if that's true.
Yeah, I think so.
I wondered. Have you ever had a Phelps interaction?
Nah, I never got to meet him.
Man, I got to meet him a couple times. He was the soul of skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like, I got to give that to him. It was 4 a.m., downtown Los Angeles, and someone goes, there goes Phelps. And he's just skating along by himself, 4 a.m., just pushing around the city.
That's sick.
It was the coolest thing. And everywhere I'd see him in the world, like we weren't close, but it was always like, there he goes, there's Phelps. It's 4 a.m., he's skating through the street. And I don't know, I think, I feel when he passed, there was a seismic shift.
Yeah.
Something did change. Like, he died right before the Olympics, and I feel like we're in a different spot now.
Yeah, I kind of feel like skateboarding is going through like growing pains a little bit.
It is.
Because like social media has completely changed the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you try to think to the time before social media existed, like to us, because we're older, like we can remember that.
Yeah.
But like other people, they just grew up having social media all the time.
Imagine that.
And it's like, I see people say stuff about like YouTube or whatever. It's like, bro, I've been skating way longer than YouTube's existed. You know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of crazy to think about that.
I'm going to give myself another piece of credit real quick. I was the first skater to get famous from YouTube. I was.
Yeah.
It was me and then our pal William Spencer about 3 weeks later.
And Aaron Cairo on Braille.
Yes, Cairo. We've got to give it to Cairo.
That's like Aaron Cairo from Braille, the owner of Braille. His origin story was he got kicked off his sponsors. He posted all his footage to YouTube. Then it kind of blew up. And then he's like, whoa, what's this new platform? I'm
going to give him that 100%, Mr. Cairo. You were and are a pioneer. He's your boss, correct?
He is.
Okay. What's he like as a boss?
I think he's pretty similar to the videos. People often ask me that, like, other Braille people like the videos. I think everyone is pretty much the same. He's maybe just like a little bit more toned down in real life.
And where is the Braille facility?
In San Francisco. So we say San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay, Bay Area.
People don't like, it's funny in Australia, like people really don't like if you say, oh, it's in San Francisco. And then they look on the map and they're like, it's in San Leandro. Oh my God.
People get upset about that?
Yeah. Well, I feel like in Australia, they go, where are you from? I go, Melbourne. And then they're like, oh, you live in the suburbs. No one would ever call me out on that.
We have to mention our other homie.
Yes.
The great Josie Carter.
Yes. So we have another mutual friend. I always categorize him as the world's best scooter rider. But I don't think he likes that. But we'll go with the most stylish scooter rider. Because when my friends hate on scootering, I go, no, you got to watch this guy. You're watching the wrong guys. You got to watch this guy.
Yeah.
He's got beautiful long hair, very finesse, and he grinds the craziest rails that you could ever imagine.
He totally made me like scootering. I will admit, I was one of those guys who's like, it's not that cool. He made it cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. What he does on a scooter. And people forget he can tray flip first try every time.
Yeah, he did a laser flip.
He did.
If you can laser flip, like you've been skating for a long time, like you love skateboarding. Like I would go to say anyone that can laser flip loves skateboarding.
100%. I can't say enough good things about him, like as a person as well.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic dude.
I like all the fringe type sports. Like I love scootering. I love parkour. I like getting involved with these other kind of fringe skate similar communities. And it's actually like really eye-opening. I'll say especially scootering. I think almost every single other scooter rider respects skateboarding.
Right.
And then skateboarders just give scooters zero respect back.
It's a one-way respect train. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, it's crazy that, you know, especially as like we're just like grown adults and you'd be like, oh, you touch the handles? Nah, that's not cool. I only touch with my feet. Like, that's what's cool.
You're even part of the one-wheel community, correct?
Yeah, I like one wheels too. So that's another like fringe. Like that's even getting smaller and smaller. So like I assume people know what one wheels are, but maybe they don't. It's like the electric skateboard where it has one wheel and it's kind of like what a Segway is, how it like self-balances. But it sounds maybe a little bit lame, but then when you stand on one, It just carves beautifully. It feels like you're snowboarding, and it's like what I imagine like a hoverboard would feel like, you know?
I got nothing against it. I got nothing against it.
Dude, it's fun.
But the question on everybody's lips, what's up with the shorts?
Yeah, I know. Why? You know, what's funny is like, I think we're like the polar opposite, is that the way you dress, very calculated, lots of thought process, always different, lots of flair. My way I dress, exact opposite. Always the exact same, zero flair, just default.
But it has become
setting.
kind of a signature.
Yeah, I don't know. Like when I was a kid, I never ever used to wear shorts. I would only wear pants, only skating pants, just, I guess because that's what everyone else did. Then one summer, I remember I was like, man, it's kind of hot. And I started like rolling up my jean, like rolling up the cuffs a bit. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of sick. And then I graduated to like cutting the cuffs off. And then pretty much since then, I was like, yeah, I like this more. Like this feels more like this is more in tune with how
If I was to give you some fashion advice, would you take it?
I would listen to it.
Okay, well, what you should do is base everything around these shorts. You should go for a Steve Irwin, all khakis, like everything. Like, you know, wear the short khaki shirt as well.
Yeah.
And go like a safari
You think the kids
kind of
know Steve Irwin?
Of course they do.
You think?
Yeah.
Dude.
He will live on forever through Robert Irwin.
I hope they do, but he's a crocodile hunter. Our generation, especially in America, he was really popular. In Australia, he was like popular, but in America, he was giant.
The boss.
Celebrity. Yeah.
The absolute boss.
But you know what, Richie, this is how I feel old. Like I'm 32, right? And the kids these days are different to the kids our age.
Impossible.
No, I made an edit on Instagram once and I used MC Hammer, Can't Touch This. Iconic song, right? Post it, kids DM me, what song is that? And I was like, whoa, like this is a different world.
That's a lot to take in, man. Well, I guess that is a beat they can't touch.
But that kind of opened my eyes a little bit. And then whenever I think about my growing up and my culture, I try to remember that maybe I'm a bit older than other people or people in skating. Like someone can come into skating, you know, we always say, what was your first DVD? What was the first skate video you watched, right? Mm-hmm. So like I'll say this to you, what was your first skate video?
First one I ever watched, Rodney vs. Day One, round one.
And you watched on VHS?
It was burned into my brain. I had a spiritual experience watching Rodney skate to Help. Because I knew the song, obviously everybody knows Help by the Beatles, but I was captivated in that instant. I went, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah. See, like my first exposure was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, watching the characters. Mm-hmm. But then my first skate video was like this super wholesome story, like, oh, the neighbor guy was skating out the front and he said, oh, come over. He was a bit older and he played the VHS of Sorry and like played it for me.
Sorry got you in?
Yeah.
Dude, it's this instant hook, isn't it?
But kids these days, you want to know what their first skate video is?
Oh, don't tell me.
It's going to hurt your soul.
Don't hurt my soul.
It's going to. YouTube, skateboarding compilation.
Wow.
Is their first video. Amazing skateboarding. Great skateboarding compilation.
We getting old, man.
Like
we are
crazy?
Getting old.
But that is even old now. You know what other people's first exposure to skateboarding is?
What?
Go on TikTok and they just go, oh, look, skating. They go, oh, look, it's Ricky on TikTok.
I'm not sure how I feel about it, but there's no point in being upset, you know.
What I say to my friends, when TikTok was like starting, I said to every single one of my sponsor friends, TikTok is the wave. Like this is the next thing. Yeah. Because I was kind of early on Instagram too, and I saw the shift of Instagram being lame and whack to being like every single brand has an Instagram, every single skater has an Instagram. Instagram is very important. Instagram. And then with TikTok, I was like, well, that's just going to happen again. I looked around a little bit and I was like, that's 100% going to happen again. Told all my friends, I was like, you got to make it. And they go, no, it's whack, it's cringe. Don't, Ricky, don't do it. You shouldn't be making this. Don't do it. And I was like, you're going to either join it in 2 years or you can join it now. It's like, it's up to you.
You seem to call things ahead of time.
Well, I feel like social media is just like in tune with my kind of like beat, you know?
Well, yeah, well, you're a smart guy and you're very good at it.
And I kind of owe like my skate career to social media as well.
100%. So we're not going to talk trash on the thing that gives us everything we want. You're a smart guy.
Well, yeah, I think just like having an open mind and open attitude towards new things is like something that's valuable, you know? Because like, do you want to be the skater that just says, oh, Instagram, like, I don't care. But think about this, if you go even further back. I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like this might have been a thing. It's like, all there is photos. Be like, photos of skate tricks. Someone takes a video. Oh, we're going to take a video. They're like, no, photos only. Like, we only want photos. I don't know if that's true or not, but like, it's always the next thing, you know. Oh, internet, you're gonna post the video on the internet? What a waste! You wasted it. It's meant to be DVD.
That's how it was for me, man.
It's like such a cycle, you know. It's like I feel like skaters are very, very, very resistant to change, which maybe is positive, but like maybe also negative. But then I just think that's the way they are, you know. And like,
well, I gotta say, it hurt me to be called. Oh, he's just a YouTube pro. You know, he's got, and then I said, well, what am I supposed to do? And then all of a sudden, you know, everything's YouTube. But you know, I was kind of ahead of that little curve.
I tell you what's funny for me is that like I've been skating 23 years maybe. I've been skating for Braille 3 years. People see me, oh yeah, you're the Braille skater. Well, it's like, yeah, but like I did skate for 20 years before that, like, you know, can we remember that a little bit?
But in my mind, you are the Braille guy.
Yeah, I know. And like, obviously I love Braille and everything, but like, it just like, it messes my head up a little bit. Cause like, well, this is the last like tiny blip of my skate career. And like, I did all this other stuff leading up to it, but no one really cared about that.
It's your association, man. It's what you're associated with. And I did want to touch on this. Like I said, you're a smart guy. You're completely sober, correct?
Yeah. So
you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah,
like, how did you manage to pull that off?
For sure. I would say, people always say like, oh my God, you're straight edge, you're sober or whatever. I would just say I don't drink alcohol or do drugs. And it was actually, I want to say it was like, what year are we in now? 2023? I feel like it was the year of New Year's Eve of like 2012. And then I was just like, I'm going to try not to drink for a while. I was just kind of over it. Like I would go partying and stuff and I was just like, I'm not like super into this. I remember like specifically one time I went skating. I went out and had like some fun with my friends, whatever. Then the next day I felt like a little bit off. Then the day after that day, I felt off again. And I was like, oh, nah, we can't have that. That's like too much.
The dreaded 2-day hangover.
Yeah. And I was like, like not super down with that. And then I was like, oh, I'll try not to drink for a while. And then I just did 1 year because I would say to my friends, let's do 1 year of no drinking. And then they would say, yeah, okay. And then the year came and I was like, they're like, no, what are you going to do? Have a drink. And I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of like used to it now.
That shows serious
and
resilience.
I just like never really drunk since then.
I think it's a good message to be putting out there. Obviously,
Well, see, even when I say this in the interview, they say, oh, Ricky always preaching, not drinking. It's like,
no,
bro, anyone can
good.
do whatever they want. Me personally, I don't like connect with that, but I would never tell anyone else to do anything differently.
I'm getting to the point in life, like I've done everything, right? I've done every drug, like that you could imagine. I've done it all, but I'm at the point now where I would want to tell kids, don't.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me that
But see, the thing is like, I don't like to tell people what to do.
Because then they're going to do it more, yeah.
I don't like to tell people what to do. I'm like the more live by example type person. And it's like, even like when I tell my friends to go on TikTok, I'd say, hey, you should do this. They say no. I go, okay. And then like they can watch, you know. That's like more my kind of vibe.
I guess like, I don't know. What I'm saying is that as I'm aging, I'm like, that would be a nice bullet for kids to dodge. And obviously growing up when I did, piss drunks, you know, Baker 2G.
Yeah.
We followed that example. And a lot of people, and this is going to get controversial, but a lot of people that I've spoken to, they're like, yeah, that completely messed our lives up. Like a lot of people died and it isn't a good example to be setting.
I do think about that a little bit. And like, we're both Australians as well. I feel like as an Australian, people sometimes message me like, oh my God, you're my favorite skater, like stuff like that. Or like, you got me into skating. And then I try to think and be like, I just want to be like a nice role model for Australians, you know?
Yeah.
Because like...
And drinking culture is huge for us.
But there's so few like Australians that really are like in the mix doing it, you know? There's maybe like I can count them on two hands kind of thing.
Who you got?
We don't need to name them all.
Name them all.
We know who they are. But it's like, you know, it's like if someone can really be setting like a nice positive example of the kids, family friendly, like all these nice positive things.
I'm
like,
not against it.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, I think like... It's a risky road, you know? I've somehow survived, but I couldn't tell you half the stories I've been through, man. I have seen it all. I feel like I was on the last, like the tail end of that culture.
Yeah.
Like right before people started to become athletic and athletic minded, like I rode the crazy train.
I tell you what's funny, how we talk about how skating's changed with social media. I feel like the whole world has changed as well.
It has.
Because imagine you're like a celebrity or whatever, before like camera phones existed. I feel like you're living in a totally different world that the celebrity with social media and camera phones and everything lives in now. You know what I mean?
100%. Well, but you know what? With social media, the original wave was people that got famous just from that. And celebrities didn't cotton on to it. Like the old world celebrities, it took them a minute.
Yeah.
Then they're like, we got to get on the internet.
I feel like there's still really big celebrities that don't have it, and they just don't really care about it.
Right. Who's the biggest celebrity you've ever met?
Man, celebrity. What define met? Like hung out?
Yeah.
Because my girlfriend gets us into all the screenings. You know who we've seen recently?
Your girlfriend is a pro snowboarder.
She is.
Okay, wait.
She's a very beautiful girl.
She is. Now tell me who the celebrity was.
Well, I was just saying she gets us into all the screenings and stuff, and we went to one the other day, and Oprah was there.
Oprah's about as big as it gets. Yeah.
But I didn't like shake her hand or anything. But she was like, I was sitting in the front row. She's like right there, you know.
It's trippy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Adam
Oprah.
Sandler as well. Like I didn't meet him, but same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Who did I shake their hand? I mean, I shook Bam's hand the other day, and I was like, that was sick.
Yeah, Bam is, when you're looking at Bam, you go, that's Bam Margera. Like,
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
To me, he like influenced me so much, you know.
Did he? You were a Jackass kid?
Yeah, 100%. My dad used to record in Australia. Like the TV structure is a little bit different. I feel like in America, it's like everyone pays for cable, but in Australia, like most people don't, but some people do. And my dad did, so he would get like MTV, and then he would record Jackass like season 1 when it was first on MTV for like me and my brother, and then we would watch it back.
I love how you say it, Jackass. It's Jackass, you fool!
Jackass.
Jackass. Did you say that you're starting to lose your Australian accent?
Yeah,
ever
definitely.
so slightly?
Well, how often do I get to see Australians? Like literally never.
And how often do you want to get your sandwich and for them to understand you?
Yes.
Everyone comes at me like, why is your accent changed? I thought you were from New Zealand. I thought you were from Australia. It's like, because if I say, can I get a bunch of tomatoes on the sub, please?
Yeah.
They're just like, excuse me, sir, can you leave
What's the
without
correct
a
thing
fuss
to
right
do?
now?
Should I say tomato or tomato? Because my instinct, I want to say tomato, but then I'm like, all right, I'll say it so they understand. And I say, oh, tomato.
Tonight's the night where we finally figure out if it's tomato or tomato.
And what's the other one? Capsicum? They don't like that.
They don't like that one.
They don't know what that
That's
is.
a bell pepper, sir. That's a bell pepper. Yeah, for me, it was like, I integrate, you know, and I'm not going to like go through life with this non-functioning accent. That'd be stubborn.
But I think you've kept yours more than mine.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah. Nah, that's right, mate. So I actually talk like this 100% of the time, and the rest of the time I'm putting on an act. So what is an accent other than you copying the way that people talk around you?
Yeah, like subconsciously.
Yeah. And if I was to go out there talking like this, I don't reckon I'd get very far.
I think YouTube like helps me get rid of it as well, because it's like, oh, hey guys, today we are enunciating very well, and we're gonna do this challenge and blah 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 blah, instead of being like.
So you're hitting
right?
you're hitting what that's called the transatlantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was invented so that people on both sides of the Atlantic could watch the movie and understand it. So you're probably gonna like even out right about there.
Yeah.
Your YouTube voice.
Usually when I meet someone, they'll think I'm American, and then I say like, oh yeah, I'm from Australia, and they go, I knew I heard something.
I thought you were from Boston, dude.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. So the reason Australians are multi-dialectical is because we had every kind of TV. We had American TV, we had British TV, we had a little bit of Irish, a little bit of Scottish, like every form of English, every dialect of English was coming through our TV. Now for Americans, not the same.
What is on American TV? Just
American TV.
But I feel like Australian was like mostly American. But I guess we would see British and stuff as a
Dude, of course, but that's the reason we can understand every single dialect of English, and Americans, for all their brilliance, they get thrown by certain accents. It's crazy. Like,
I seen a skater, you know Alex Sakuna?
yeah.
He's from England.
Wait, I just lied. No, I don't know him.
Oh, he's a sick skater. He's from England. But anyway, he was recently in LA, and then a skater, an American guy, is like, whoa, like you really talk like that?
The craziest thing I've heard Americans say this. This one blew my mind. They go, but we don't have an accent.
Yeah.
We don't have one. It's like, whoa, like what a mental bubble to be in. They're like, well, we just don't have one. Everybody else has one. We talk normal. I'm like, you must be stupid. Like, sorry, but I've heard that a couple times ago. But Americans don't have an accent. It's like, oh, you have an accent.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, has anyone ever said that to you?
No, I've never heard that.
Dude,
but I would
it's
believe
wild.
it. I
It's
feel like
wild.
Americans, don't have like a desire to travel outside of America as well. I feel
Sometimes.
like all Aussies, they're like, oh yeah, I'm saving up. I'm going to go on the big Europe trip. Like, oh yeah, I'm going to make it happen.
Well, we do because we're so isolated, man.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to go somewhere, like it takes a lot. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of jet fuel, and you go far. So we get used to traveling. But yeah, with Americans, a lot of them haven't been out of the country.
Yeah.
Oh, those poor Americans. I still love you. I am one. I am an American citizen. Are you coming for your citizenship?
I'm trying. I'm working on it. It's
Exactly.
tough. Dude, getting a visa is so tough. Like, that's the thing is like I said, there's not that many Australian skaters out in America or like just like fully in the mix. It's like, it's so hard to get a visa to come to another country, especially for skating. Like, maybe if you had some tech job or whatever, they make it easy. But for skating, it was like really challenging.
I wanted to ask you something. I know it's completely off topic, but I want to get into aliens with you, man. Where do you stand? I'm serious. You're not going to sound like a weirdo. Just tell me what you know.
All right. So where we are in the world recording this, we are a few miles away from where the Blair Witch was filmed.
This is true.
If you don't know what the Blair Witch is, it is an iconic horror movie that invented the genre that they call found footage. So basically where the people have a camcorder and the movie's themed as if someone's found these lost tapes from the camcorder. So where do I stand? Let's go in the woods. Let's find the Blair Witch.
That has nothing to do with aliens. That's a witch.
I don't know. I feel like it's mathematically likely that other life exists, but does that mean that it's aliens or that people see the aliens or whatever? Like, I don't know. I guess I'm like optimistic from the numbers that it exists, but will we be in the right time, space, or whatever to interact with them? Who knows?
I think it's highly unlikely. Okay, here's where I stand on it. 100%. I think there's infinite civilizations. We're just simply too far away from each other. It's the tyranny of distance, man.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they've come and gone. They're there. Are they visiting Earth? It's a hard no for me. The footage of the Tic Tac UFO is interesting. That's the only one that I think holds any weight, but I just couldn't tell you what it is. Where I've landed is, I don't know. But as far as the existence, 100%.
Hundreds is a strong number.
Dude, 100. You know what? I think, and I'm going to get philosophical here, what we're looking for is ourselves. Mm-hmm. What is an alien? It's a being that lives on a rock, on the spiral arm of a galaxy in outer space. That's what we are. You're talking to an alien right now.
Yeah. Imagine if just like the same next, like just similar human come from another planet. Like, yo, what up?
They're not going to be human. They're going to be beyond
That
comprehension.
would be insane.
They're not going to be anything like us. I don't think so, at least. When you think
Yeah.
about the scale of planets, you think about different, think about the gravity of a Jupiter-sized planet. They might be 5 football fields tall. You don't know. Like, I think they've come and gone, but I really hope I get to see them in my lifetime. Have you seen anything UFO related? Nothing?
Never.
Nothing at all. Me neither. I'm so bummed about that. I want to believe. That's the thing. It's that old X-Files thing. It's true.
Quote.
I want to believe. I want to believe in ghosts. I want to believe in aliens. But as it stands now, I have seen zero evidence of either. Any ghost stories?
But I think ghost and alien is pretty different.
Oh, 100% they're different.
But I don't really believe in ghosts either.
I don't either.
At Braille, they're all of the people at Braille so scared of ghosts, so afraid of the dark. Like,
Really?
Yeah, like big time,
Interesting. They're
But
not Australian enough. They haven't.
They say
seen
there's
the
a ghost there, and like one of the lights will like move, like it will move like more than it's possible from a draft or something, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, it's the alien." I mean, the ghost.
How do you deal with that?
I mean, I feel like something the air pressure, or whatever, maybe
Yeah, of
something.
course.
But see, it's only this one light. But I don't know.
Everything has a scientific explanation.
If the ghost wants to show up, then let's see it.
Bring it. Yeah. You notice how
Game Escape.
nobody can produce. Yeah, Game Escape with a ghost. He got you on GOST. Yeah, there's just zero evidence.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, because when you start talking like this, you can actually bum people out quite a bit because you're shooting down their belief. Mm-hmm. And it's their fantasy. They want this to be real. And when you say, well, look, it's just not, they go like, I don't like you.
Yeah. People are wild though.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back to skating, Richie.
No. Okay.
Which country has better skate parks? Melbourne and Sydney or California?
Which country has better skate
Well,
parks?
whatever. Who has better skate parks, Australia or America?
America.
You think?
And who has better street? Australia.
What? I think it's the opposite way.
How so?
I think America has better street and Australia has better skate parks. I came to California and I'm like, show me these viral parks. Where are all these viral parks? There's like barely even any parks. I grew up in Melbourne, right?
Yeah.
If you look at a map and put all the pins of the skate parks in Melbourne of like a 10-mile radius or whatever, there is so many. If you go to LA and put a 10-mile radius, there's way less, 100%.
I get that. What's
But
up
that's
with
Melbourne, random Australian city.
Melbourne's one of the best cities of all time to skateboard. It's that bluestone. It's like this. The floor
Yeah,
is like
maybe
this.
I'm spoiled.
We are spoiled to have grown up there, man. Sydney and Melbourne, it's just ridiculous. A lot of the times I would take people out to spots and they would go, "That's here? I thought that was in Barcelona, bro." Yeah.
I would see that. Melbourne also was one of the first to do the integrated, not a skate park, skate plaza, a pedestrian space type thing.
Right.
That one,
yeah,
I think that's the most popular is University Square, right?
University
Is that what
Square,
it's called?
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's cool. And then they recently made that one in San Francisco, and they're like, the first in the nation. I'm like, oh yeah, you haven't been to Australia, huh?
They have not.
I think Europe did a couple like that too. But I think that's sick. And like, I think it's cool when, the government can get behind skateboarding. And
They do it on occasion.
That's where we can talk about the next topic, the Olympics. I think if these kind of things can lead to some people in the government being like, hey, skateboarding is a thing and that's cool. We should build a thing. We should spend money on skating. How can that ever be negative?
Maybe it is not so bad. Maybe they are not all drug addicts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy though that there's like a skater that is a gold medalist Olympian?
Who?
Yuto.
Yeah.
But like there's going to be gold medalist Olympian skaters. Like, isn't that wild?
That's completely wild. It's completely wild. It's insane. I mean, there's that old adage of, everybody's going to fail the drug test, which turned out to be true. Like, because you got to be an Olympian, you got to be completely clean.
Yeah.
Do you have Olympic aspirations?
No, never. No? I don't really like skate comps, to be honest.
Right.
I think skate comps, it's cool that people like them, whatever. To me, it's like if you would have a comp and say like, all right, guys, picture painting competition. Like, let's do it. You paint a picture, you carve this clay, you make a paper mache thing, you do some graffiti, and then you try to judge them all against each other. How?
That's kind of insane. Yeah.
None will ever be clearly better than the other. They're all great in their own way.
That's where I stand on it. Yeah.
How can you say what's harder, 720 flip on flat or nose grinded 12 rail? Like, what's harder? What's better?
And judging, like, judge not lest ye be judged. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be all. But at the same time, I love it. I think if it gets anybody into skating, it's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was saying. I think I was saying it today to someone. Is that if people are in a bar and they turn on ESPN and it's Street League or whatever, and they say, "Oh yeah, skating, that's cool."
Yeah, that is cool.
That's great.
More money for us.
They're not going to go to YouTube and watch a video pod and then the bars are going to be like, "Oh, skating." If that's the only way they can see it from ESPN, great. Like, that's awesome.
I can appreciate Street League. I've been a hater in the past, but it has to be palatable for the person in the bar that loves sports.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
As a skater, it's fun. You just watch it and be like, wow, they're really trying to cater to the non-skater. That's cool. Like, just watch it and enjoy it for what it is,
Yeah. I still can't watch it though. I get bored. I get hopelessly bored.
Yeah.
I've noticed this these days. I've got to put on the classics. Like, I get more pumped up watching an old video than I ever would a new one.
Well, see, that's the shift of skating too, is that right now on Instagram, there's a billion crazy tricks waiting to be seen. And
it's also just your neural pathways, man. Like, for me to watch Misled Youth, it brings back memories of the time, and it's old man syndrome. You go, wasn't it better back then?
Yeah. But now there's infinite, insane things to watch. Back in the day, there was a few insanely good things to watch, and we would watch them over and over
again. Do you think kids will ever know how much we watched it?
And the relationship to the media was different to, oh, crazy thing? Okay, I don't really need to follow that guy there. Oh, crazy thing? Okay, cool. Oh, crazy thing? Okay, cool.
We wore out the tape so many times, dude. What? Oh, man. I don't think people get that. Like, let's watch it again. Let's watch it again, because there was a scarcity of skate media.
And like, I feel like that's how the skate ecosystem has changed too. Is like, back then there was few very famous pros, and then now it seems like there's infinite mediocrely famous pros and maybe like a few.
Hey, who you calling mediocrely famous?
But you know what I mean? That's like, it would be, someone should make a graph that's like pro skaters in this time period versus pro skaters in this time period.
Where do you think you fall on the graph?
Well, I was just saying the amount, but what, of the legitness?
Oh, well, no, yeah. Like, where do you put yourself?
You're going to make me rate my legitness?
Yes.
I don't know. I think like...
I put you at about A Ricky Glaser level?
That's the good amount.
Yeah.
But see, like to me, it's like people are still stuck in that old mentality of how skating used to be. And then now like I'm more adaptive of the new age of skating. And like you don't necessarily have to be the best skater ever. Because even if you are the best skater ever, people will still just be like, yeah, this guy's boring. I don't really like watching Nigel. He's boring. It's like, bro, he's doing the best things that could ever exist. Like,
well, the other
give him
thing
some
is
credit.
like it's about connection, and people obviously talk trash about vlogging and everything. But if you could talk to people and make them happy, the kids that follow you have a massive YouTube following.
Yeah.
How many have you got?
I have like 500K.
We're in
But,
the
like-
presence of a legend.
But if you if you think though, like, you know, the videos that I used to watch, I would love seeing pros do interviews and stuff. But then now in like the new age of YouTube and social media and stories and stuff, you can communicate to them like directly.
Yeah.
And I find that I will meet someone from social media that I followed for a long time. And it's like, I see their stories and like, I feel like I already know them. I feel like I already know a lot about them and like I'm connected to them. And you see someone you like and you stay in contact with them. I think that's like, you know, people think it's cringe or whatever, but it's like overwhelmingly, I think that's cool.
This is why Thrasher was objectively wrong to criticize what you guys do. I'm serious, man. Like, and that was good of you to stand up, because there's always that risk of like, what if I'm blacklisted from Thrasher?
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I got your #1 video, so come at me.
yeah, Richie Jackson has the most viewed skateboarding video pod on Thrasher, definitely, maybe of all time.
It is. And
does
you know
it feel?
you know how much money I received for that from Thrasher?
$0
Big old fat zero.
for the love, Soul Skater.
Yeah, man. So I felt a little exploited too, and I'm not mad. I got a lot of opportunity from it being the biggest, but at the same time, I felt like I wasn't exactly accepted into the fold. It was more like, okay, it's popular. We don't back it, but it's out there, so we'll use it to sell our merch.
Yeah, so that's the most viewed video pod on Thrasher's channel. Most viewed video on Thrasher's channel.
Our good pal, Jeff DeCesare.
The king.
The king.
Jeff DeCesare, if you don't know who that is, he does a lot of crazy flip tricks. He is known for people not liking his style, not liking the way he skates.
Jeff Wonsong is a warrior.
I mean, like, I feel like Thrasher haven't said negative things about him recently, but like he was always like the butt of the joke. Like people would always be like super mean to him. It's okay to be mean to him because it's Jeff DeCesare.
You can't fault that man's determination.
But it's funny that he has the most viewed video on Thrasher.
100%. And he can take that. You know,
Yeah,
he's got that.
I love Jeff.
I do as well. Skated with him a fair bit. Yeah, just the sheer determination. Whoa, look at that. We have a fire going in case anybody didn't notice. Yeah, have you interacted with Jeff DeCesare much?
Yeah, so when I first came to America, I hit him up on Instagram. I was like, bro, you're sick. Like, let's skate.
Oh, sick.
And then I filmed the video of me doing a triple flip and him being like, yeah, that was sick.
Nice, man. Yeah, he does have the monopoly on the triple flips there.
Yeah. Dude, he's so good, though.
Yeah, he's the best.
Crazy.
Yeah, and like, who
But
cares?
that's what I like about skating is that, you know, there's so much skating. If you don't like someone, whatever, like, don't watch it. Like, there's so many different pockets of skating that, like, you can just find what you like and just
You
go for
could
that.
totally, like, if you don't like Jeff DeCesare's style, you totally have the option of not watching his video. But what people seem to do is that I'm going to watch it and hate it because that brings them a pleasure.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Do you find we need to talk about it? Like, are skaters really mean?
I don't know. I sometimes think about that too. And like, I try to look to similar niches that are like skate sized, you know, because skating's not the biggest thing ever, but it's not the smallest either. And what's interesting is skating is like so prevalent in like pop culture and stuff.
It is.
But then I still feel like skating is small and like the industry is small and it's like really hard to make money in skating and just have a career.
So
like
why would
the amount of people that like are living from the industry of skating is like so few, I would think.
But I don't think people know what we're capable of if we would come together. I'm
think?
serious. Yeah, if we would stop with the hatred,
I don't
stop with
know.
the criticism. No, we could do incredible things.
But see, like, I think skating, it's like, its origin is the like counterculture, like punk rock, you know?
Right.
So then like, it's not super punk rock to just be like, hey, everyone, we accept
Peace and
everyone.
love,
It's
man.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I can respect that. I think that's okay.
Yeah, but I just mean we could be doing better for ourselves, all of us. You know, I think like beefs are stupid. I think these little cliquey beefs are not doing anyone any favors. Like, I'm trying to.
But see, that's why I think social media is cool because it almost kind of like decentralizes the control of like exposure.
Of course it does, yeah.
Whereas like back in the day, you piss off the wrong 4 dudes,
Yep.
No one will ever see your photo. No one will ever see your video, no matter what. You know?
I know stories.
But now,
man.
you go on TikTok, you do something truly amazing on TikTok, it will get millions of views, no matter what.
Were you a Denny Gonzalez fan?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what happened to him?
You're calling people out, huh?
What? I'm not calling him out. I'm in his corner.
All right, yeah, let's go.
So he's a genius, and he had his career, and it was all going kind of well. And what happened was again, this comes back to Thrasher, but they used his silhouette for their video game, Thrasher Skate and Destroy.
I played that the other day.
Yeah. So remember that? You know, like the guy
It's like ollieing, right?
that is Denny Gonzalez.
Okay.
And he went, it's my silhouette. No money, Thrasher? And he called him up, and they're like, no, fuck no, there's no fucking money. Fuck you. And he was like, well, I'm going to sue you to get money.
Uh-oh.
He got beaten up at Pier 7. He got it was like some thuggery style stuff.
That's crazy.
He got beat up, and they were like, you're black.
Allegedly, or...
No, he got beat up. And
You sure it wasn't allegedly?
No, this is serious. And when they ran an article of best tricks done down Wallenberg, you best believe his kickflip melon was not in there. So that's blacklisting. And I don't think that was fair.
Yeah, but see, what's interesting is I don't think that level of blacklisting would happen now.
Of course not. It couldn't.
It can't.
It couldn't.
Because social media really kind of decentralized it. And it's like, if they left it out of the list, go on TikTok and say, hey, look, they left out kickflip melon, one of the most iconic tricks out of the list.
My
Boom,
heart aches for
everyone sees
him.
it.
Like, that wasn't fair.
Yeah, but sometimes life isn't fair.
Well, sometimes Thrasher isn't fair. Thrasher hasn't been very fair. That seems to be the point we're driving at. We are
But I
never
love
going to be in
Thrasher.
Thrasher. Yeah.
I love skateboarding, I love Thrasher. I love barracks.
Oh, it's too late for you, sir. You're not getting in Thrasher. You've just cooked that goose.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
Yeah.
But see, like, I don't know. People are crazy. Even just because Braille. Well, I tell you what's cool, Andy Anderson.
Yes.
First helmet, street clip in Thrasher.
This is true.
Photo.
Well, he's the real deal. You cannot mess with him.
But it was a long road. A very long road
Very
to get
long
there.
road, yeah.
It's not like you would think someone like Andy Anderson thrashes as well. Let's stop talking about Thrasher. But people would say, wow, he is amazing. He is a genius.
Mm-hmm.
I love this guy. But instead they say, I see a helmet. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, but at the same time, let's talk facts here. I walked so that Andy Anderson could run.
Yeah.
There is no Andy Anderson without Richie Jackson.
Well, yeah.
Oh, come on. That's too
why
much.
I like you and William Spencer and even John Motter as well. Is because
Motta.
I feel like you guys were pushing the boundary of like, hey, it doesn't have to only be one lane. You can kind of widen the lane a bit and you can kind of mix in whatever you want.
Thank you so very much. I have a fun fact. John Motta was supposed to have a part in And Now, and it never eventuated.
Really? Dang.
What a different world it would have been had he had a part in And Now.
That would have been sick.
Yeah.
I love his like old parts.
Man.
I think there's one before Happy Medium that I really like. I can't remember what it's called.
The admiration I have for him is insane. I know he's been through a lot. He had a couple mental health things happen just from being out in the desert and probably doing a little bit too many psychedelics, but he's doing really good now.
Yeah.
And I would want him to know like how much his skating has meant to me.
Yeah, me too. I got to skate with him. It's cool that I got to skate with him. I got to skate with William. I got to skate with you.
I guess that's where I'm standing on all this is like, I want everybody to be rewarded for their endeavors. Like Motta deserves a golden house for what he's done, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. Don't want to get too emotional about it, but the idea that somebody could sacrifice themselves so much.
But see, like, I think sacrifice himself is maybe like a bit too much of an extreme because
think
I'm
so?
sure he enjoyed skating and he loved the creativity and he had a great time doing it all.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's like, are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it for the accolades, you know?
I'm doing it for time. I want to make a piece of timeless art.
Yeah.
I want something that's going to stand after I'm gone, you know, something for the ages.
Yeah.
Is that
But
too
see, like,
aspirational?
I just love skating. Like, if a camera didn't exist, I would still do a hard trick. I would still try 100 times to do a trick if you couldn't film it.
I think I'm a little different. I'm more theatrical. I'm like, the people must have the art.
Well, yeah, because that's the world that we live in now, you know, like camera does exist. Camera doesn't not exist.
Right,
But I think I like the physical and mental challenge of skating. And I feel
Okay.
like it's the perfect balance of like, hey, you get to express your creativity, you get to challenge your mind. Oh, and you get to try physical thing. Oh, and danger. Like, you got to love the danger a little bit too.
That's true.
It's
yeah.
like, it's a really nice mix of all those things. I feel like there's nothing else really like it unless it's kind of like a skating type thing like BMX or parkour or whatever. I feel like aside from this little niche of like action sports, there's nothing else like this.
Well, I got to say you're extremely good at it. Like I'm a fan. I got to get that out. I've been a fan of your stuff for a while. Yeah, and sounds weird to say, but like I admire your skating, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, what I saw you do yesterday was incredible. Kickflip, crossfoot to impossible out. Like,
well, I don't know what they call that. It's like your feet are crossed and then you pop on that front foot and then it wraps on the front foot. I think it did have a name. Maybe it's like plasma spin or something.
Plasma spin.
But
wowzer.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Well, see, that's my mix of like freestyle. Like that's kind of like a freestyle trick. They do it from tail stall kind of thing, and they have their feet crossed and hook it over. And then like you can kind of just do it from pressure. It's like kind of like a mix of street and freestyle.
I'd never seen anything like it. Yeah. But that's the thing, everybody brings their own little piece, right? Like there's no one that's gonna do that. It's only Ricky Glaser.
Well, that's what's fun is like, that's what I try to do is like, you know, we're saying I've been skating over 20 years. You've probably been skating 30?
Since 1998.
Oh, that's the same as me.
What would,
99.
Really?
Yeah.
We've been skating the same amount of time?
You got 1 year more.
Whoa, okay, crazy.
But I mean, that when I say like, that was when I first started, the first few years, I'm just a little kid, like it doesn't really count, you know?
Uh-huh.
But anyway, what I try to do now that I'm like good at skating or whatever, is I try to think back to a kid that just began skating. You ever seen the movie Big?
Of course.
Okay.
With Tom Hanks?
Yeah, Tom Hanks, a movie in the 80s, definitely recommend watching it. It's called Big.
Oh, yeah.
The premise of the movie is Tom Hanks goes to sleep as a 14-year-old, 13-year-old.
He wakes up, he's a man.
Wakes up and he's 30. So that's the premise. And it's like, what would a 13-year-old do if they were suddenly an adult 30? What I try to do when I skate is like, what would a skater do if 13-year-old kid woke up the next day and was like really good at skating? Like, what would they do, you know? Like, would
what
they go...
is in your mind, sir? I love this.
But like, what would they do? Would they go ollie like a 20, or would they just do some crazy, like combine a bunch of crazy stuff? And like, that's how I try to think is like, what would get that kid hyped? Is like,
so you feel like Tom Hanks in Big?
Well, like I try to summon that energy, you know?
Wow.
And so it's like, oh, am I going to switch tray the 8? Like, is that what Tom Hanks would do? First date, switch tray the 8? Like, I don't think so.
Dude, this is awesome. We are getting into your brain right now. I loved that movie. But you apply this to skateboarding.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
I actually told that to Andy Anderson, and then he's like, what's Big? And I'm like, oh, we got to watch it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we watched it, and he was loving it.
Oh, Big is great. Big is fantastic, man. That's just tripping me out that you.
But I think that's cool. And what's been cool being skating so long now as well is like, I remember when I was a kid, and then like, you know, maybe someone shows you some kindness, like a pro like gives you their old board.
Man, can we talk about that?
And then now I'm like, whoa, like it's crazy to be on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Give a board to a kid, stoke him out, or like have an interaction with a kid, just try to stoke him out. Like,
I got a story. I got to get this one out, man. I'll never forget it as long as I live. I was a tiny kid, and the pros in Sydney were kind of weird to us. I don't want to name names, but they're like, oh, you grummy, you suck, you know, and they would just always give us crap. And they're like, you're not cool, you're not this, you're not that, you suck. And it hurt. I mean, we wanted to be accepted by them, and they didn't accept us. And then one day, we're out in the street, and I see this dude walking down. I'm like, who is that? Nobody walks like that. And he's just like got this swagger to him. And he comes up, I go, oh my God, that's Keenan Milton. And he comes over and goes, what's up, man? What's up, baby? What's up, baby? How you doing? How you doing? I was like, no pro had ever spoken to me like that, ever. And he accepted us. And it was a magical, magical moment, because I was like, I looked at, he was with two guys, the guys that always took trash on us. And they were like, what are you doing? Don't talk to them. And he gave me this human kindness and respect that I've carried with me to this day.
that's sick.
Dude, it was Keenan.
That's so good.
I owe him a lot, you know, and same thing you were saying, like if I get on the other side of that, I will give that to people.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Like, I wouldn't want someone to meet me or whatever and then be like, oh yeah, that guy was not so nice or whatever. I want them to be like, oh cool, that was sick. Like, yeah. Or just someone like meets skating in general. You want them to have a positive experience, like, because skating has been such a big part of my life and all these positive things come from my life.
Yeah.
I want them to understand that and not get off on the wrong foot, you know?
Yeah, I just know that something went into me right there, and I've carried it with me forever. Like, 100% same feeling. I'm like, I don't want to bum anybody out that meets me. I want to spread positivity and do it that way. But that was the first time and picture what I looked like at the time, dude. I'm 13 years old. Like, I'm this tiny little blonde kid, and Keenan had time for me.
Yeah.
He made the time for me. Legends never die, man.
For real.
I'm getting emotional. We better wrap this up. I love you, man.
All
Thanks
right.
for coming.
Thank you.
Ricky Glaser, everybody.
Yeah.